All right, y'all. Today we're going to navigate away from what we usually do. We've been in Ely for 2 weeks, and I ran into this guy that owns a building that's going to show us something. So hold on, and you're going to get to see this. Really cool. This is the building, and I'm going to show y'all this first because you're going to need to know this for future information. This is a stairwell that goes down into the basement, and it's all decrepit, so it's blocked off. But right down there, that's the basement to this 3-story building. If you'll look down there, that's where they just poured some concrete to cover something up. So let's go see if we can go find out what this is.
Floor over the staircase, so that there was a little bit of a storage space here for our syrups, bag in the box, our liquors, t-shirts. And what he did was he built this little trap door to access the stairwell.
Now, in full disclosure, I already know what's down here, but we're going to get a first-hand account of what's down here. I'm going to walk y'all through this. All right, y'all, it's really dark in here. This is, I don't know if you can see it. I'll try and lighten it up in post, but this is the original staircase that went up to the building, and it's just pitch black down here. But there's
Got a light here, I just have to get it plugged in. This is the first room that we found. My friend cut an inspection hole and spotted this door, so we cut the sheetrock away, and all that's in there is some old bar chairs. And on this side over here, there's a looks like a cooler door, something for a walk-in cooler. It's pretty big and it's pretty thick. And then up at the roof, you see that big 4-inch pipe goes through the sheetrock up there.
oh yeah,
That's when I spotted the next room.
somebody just sheetrocked over this door right here.
This kind of stuff stacked in front of it, these bookshelves and whatnot, so I never even really looked at this thing.
All right, so how old is this building?
It's built in 1900.
1900.
Yep.
And you acquired it last year?
In 2015.
Okay.
So when we looked for the other entrance to the other door here, we pulled some of the stuff out of that room. And that's the entrance right there. And it's jam-packed with boxes, and everything in there is from the bank club.
If y'all know what the bank club is, put it in the comments. If not, I'll do some research and find out what that is. But
It's now Mr. G's. It was kitty corner across from the Hotel Nevada.
okay.
And in some of these boxes we have gaming ledgers, stuff you can't throw out when you shut down a gaming area. There's old menus, there's employee applications, just everything that was in the bank club. We just pulled a few boxes out just to look at it. A couple of pictures there.
I'm going to stick my head in there if
go
that's
ahead.
okay.
Use the flashlight here.
So this was all sealed up. You can see they just sealed this entire room off. There's no telling what kind of information and stuff is all in here. This is a good find.
Yeah. Next thing I'm going to show you is the stairwell to nowhere. That's it right there.
So that's the stairway that originally was on the outside.
Yeah.
How about that? There's an old stop sign on the side of the wall.
Yeah. I don't know how that got there.
That is really, really cool.
Now, if you've heard of the history of the Ely tunnels, there's two entrances down here that go into the tunnels. If you shine the light up into that corner there, you see there's a piece of plywood that's screwed into the plaster.
Right.
We took that down when we spotted it, and behind it, somebody had stacked flat rocks, one on top of the other, all the way to the sidewalk. So when we removed that piece of wood, there was a blast of cold air, like if you've ever gone into a cave.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was just blasting out. When we looked into the openings, they blocked it with stacked rocks. Directly across the street is the art bank, and my friend that helped me find these rooms had gone there. He asked permission to go into the basement and see their old safe, because as I said, he was a locksmith, and they showed him the door. They had it bricked in, but it's directly across the street from where that entrance is.
Holy cow.
Directly across the street. There's a second entrance, if you'll step over this way, to the caves. And that's it right there. There's a couple of small vent holes drilled in there. When we put a flashlight to it, it's just absolutely pitch black behind there.
So you think that goes under the...
That goes into the Ely tunnels.
So what are the Ely tunnels? Because that's the first I've heard of that.
Okay, right down this alley. Right down the alley when you reach the jailhouse casino and hotel.
Right.
In the parking lot across the street, they have the original jailhouse door where they would lock prisoners up. That was where the original jail was. And back in the 1880s, if they had to bring somebody to court, chances are if the townspeople thought that they were guilty, they would hang them before they could have their day in court. So they built the original tunnel from there to the courthouse, which was a lot closer than it is today, so he could have his day in court and not get lynched.
Are there any ghost stories about this building?
Yeah,
Or
there's two ghosts that I have knowledge of. Now again, the owner of this building, he and his brother, Gus Flangus, owned the building. I bought it from his daughter who inherited it. And his brother Ernie, as far as I know, is still alive. Any building that was going to be bulldozed, any business that went out of business, they would come and strip the building. So we have lots of copper pipe, heavy timber. All this came out of other buildings that they scavenged. And they just collected down here. There's some old wallpaper. I don't know what they used the basement for back in the day. It's anybody's guess. Bless you. This building has had a variety of businesses here. Watch your step right here. There's a little bit of a drop off. Now back here is another one of Gus's workstations. He was a carpenter, and he had stuff going on every floor. Old metal doors that came from other buildings unknown. And this is the very back end of the building here. This is the entrance to the exterior stairwell that's still out there. That's how to get out here. Now, back here, I'm going to move my light down so your camera can see where the light's coming in over there.
Mm-hmm.
That's the old coal chute.
Okay.
Half of this room was boarded off, and they had a coal-fired boiler right here. And I my understanding is that it was removed during World War II for the war effort. And these stairs are like the ones in the front that we came down, except there's no trap door. He just made a storage room.
This is absolutely fascinating.
It's a wild place.
So for those of y'all that follow our channel, You'll know that we like finding odd stuff. That's why our channel name is Our Road Less Traveled. This is the greatest thing in the past 3 years since we've been on the road that I've been able to see. And all of this came in the sale.
Yes.
What are you going to do with all this?
I have no plans. I had a neighbor across the street. She owned the world's loneliest thrift store, and I gave a lot of stuff to her for consignment.
What do you say we take them upstairs and show them the bar that you're creating, which is really the reason we're doing this video. This is really cool.
As I said before, the ceiling tiles are original 1880 tin ceiling panels. You asked about ghosts. I have 2 ghosts that I can confirm that live here.
This is no joke.
No, this is serious. As a matter of fact, there is some documentation. But when I went to get my business license to open this in 2016, I went to the city hall, which is in the old fire department building right around the block. And when I came in for the meeting, the clerk was there, and I asked where I was on the agenda, and she says, he'll be in the first hour. And she says, 392 Altman Street, what is that? And I said, well, it used to be called Good Times Tavern, but it's had a bunch of names, Twisted Pines and all these other Dago Reds. It had a bunch of names. So she told me to wait a minute. She went around the corner toward the back and then gave me this. Come here and look at this. She had a huge picture frame that had a whole bunch of Ely Times articles about this place when it was on fire. Well, actually not this place. Right next door where there's an empty lot. It was the Silver Dollar Saloon. And when it caught fire in 1972, the Ely Fire Department was here fighting the fire. Now, after you've been on the hose for a half hour or 45 minutes, the chief will relieve the hose crew and send you to rehab so you can take off your gear, cool off, drink some water. And they were standing right in front of my building here cooling off. There used to be a sign that hung off the second floor header that just had a sign that said rooms, because there used to be apartments upstairs. And I think they were standing under that sign. The hot gases and the smoke from the fire next door got into my attic, caused the metal hanger to twist, because when you heat up metal, it elongates. And the sign fell and killed Robert Curto. He's the only line of duty death the Ely Fire has ever had. So he's one of the ghosts. And the second one was in 1959. A gentleman visited me about 4 years ago. He said he grew up in the front apartment of this building. His grandparents raised him because his mom and dad were killed in a car accident. So he came here after school. He used to go down to the Murray Street School down the street here, and he was having a sandwich at one of the tables. This used to have all table games. The bar wasn't even here, and all the way up in the corner he had a roll-top desk. So while he was eating his sandwich here, his grandfather walked up to his desk, and just as he reached it, he had had a massive heart attack and fell to the floor and died right there. So there's 2 ghosts that I know of that are here. When I started drilling a hole through this wall to get a fresh air supply to the pellet stove, the day I started drilling was the day that things started happening around here. Occasionally, just out of nowhere, all the way at the end of the bar, where it hits the wall, that used to be where the original door was, you'll hear this loud knock like this. Just a single thump. My bar manager likes to sit down at the end of the bar there so she can see the whole place, and it went off and she almost jumped out of her skin. I said, that's the noise I've been telling you about. They both died right there along that front wall. I don't feel threatened by them, and little noises and things that get moved around. It's just part of the building. It's got a definite energy to it.
Downstairs is the bar. Yep. Upstairs, you're planning on a social train club?
Yeah, exactly right. I got some local people who are part of the railroad club, and a lot of people from out of state. They come through here from California heading to Utah, and they've expressed an interest for me to keep them posted as to anything that's going on. Right now I'm just switching out track so nothing's running.
I do like a good ghost story. See, my